Hey, Prepper King back to you with another informational video on the Prepper King channel. I am the Prepper King. Like and subscribe to my channel so you get content all the time, 24/7. Yeah, I haven't been around in a while, I know that, but I had to come on now and just talk to the people that subscribe to my channel what's going on in the world today. You know, we have wars. I don't know if this war is going to go on for a long time or a short time. You know, who knows? Trump says it's going to last a couple weeks, and maybe that's so. Maybe it'll drag on for a while, but things I am really concerned about with this war is, what about a cyber attack? Nobody's talking about a cyber attack that could happen. Even if it wasn't from Iran. You know, what if it's from a different country? You know, with the certain things with a cyber attack, you don't know where it came from. So wouldn't this be an opportune time for a country that hates us? You know, like North Korea or something like that, or even some other country, Russia or China or whatever. Wouldn't this be an opportune time to send a cyber attack our way? And that way everybody thinks it was Iran? That's something to prepare for. That is the most likely scenario that can hurt the American people. What we have to be more vigilant about is a cyber attack. And also, with the years that we had such kind of a porous border, who says there's not these certain entities that entered our country and they're planning to plot something against us as far as going after our power grid? Because that is our Achilles heel. There's no way to attack America with bombs and stuff like that. You know, we got oceans and mountains, and the way that, if you know, I looked at different videos and how hard it would be to attack America. It's just the terrain and the logistics of it doesn't make sense to try to attack us from. But the one way you can do it and to put real harm on us is attack our power grid. So what's to say there's not sleeper cells out there planning something right now? You saw the one guy that smashed through a fence. I don't know if you heard about it, but he went after a power transformer. I forgot what state it was in, but he almost got to it, and he ran his car into something. He had bombs and all kinds of stuff in his car. You know, what's to say that can happen? And another thing I had to talk to you about today is this AI revolution that's coming upon us. That's supposed to be taking everybody's jobs away and everything. I can see it doing that. And wars aren't going to be fought with battleships. Wars will be fought with drones and robots. You know, we're a long way from sticks and stones. But we could get back to sticks and stones if there's a power outage, a major grid down. Because I looked it up. I did this really thing, and I went on Google and I Googled it. And I went into AI and I asked AI. I said, if the power grid goes down, would AI cease to exist? And it would. It's totally reliant on the power grid, AI. These data centers that are out there are totally reliant on the power grid. And if power grid goes down, if the whole entire power grid goes down for more than a few days, it will destroy all those data centers. And they would have to start from day one. I don't know if you do that or not. And also, later on in the video, I got a tip for you on a prep that you need to put in your preps right now that you will thank me for in the long run. And I'll bring that out to you at the end of the video. But again, why wouldn't this be an opportune time for a cyber attack to hit the United States? Being it, you know, logistically to the banks, that'd be one way to really hit everybody hard. If you go out and try using your credit card, your debit card, and it will not work because the banks are locked up. So how the hell is anybody going to buy something? Unless you have cash in your hand and be able to go to a convenience store that you can pay cash for, you know, and then would lock up America, and we wouldn't even be talking about wars, you know, because once people can't run their debit card or their Snap card or, you know, Bridge card or whatever, they're going to be thinking about any wars. They're going to be thinking about what their next meal is, you know. So there's so many things out there we got to be aware of, and it seems like 92%, 93% of the population ain't ready for none of it, you know. So what's going to happen when something does happen? You know, it's you don't know until it happens. But I'm one that is not going to be one of these people that saying, "Oh, I'm bugging out and I'm running to the woods." That ain't never going to happen. You know, somebody owns some property somewhere. All this property is owned by somebody. What are you going to do? You're going to run to the woods in state land somewhere? Know how long it would take if you live in a city to get to state land? If something happened, you'll never make it. You're better off staying where you're at. There's no reason, you know, the survival stuff where you're going to go out in the woods and camp out in the woods. That ain't going to happen, especially if you're my age. You know, and then the younger folks, they have no idea of survival at all. You know, they walk from their fridge to their computer screen or their phone, and that's it. You know, you go outside nowadays and you drive around, you don't see any kids outside no more. They're entrenched in their houses. So they'll be lost when the power grid goes down. You know, it's just all these cascading things that can happen. And if you're in the prepper community, I mean, you know, you have a head start on everybody when it comes to anything like that. And that's a god awful truth that, you know, one thing I cannot stand is that they say that preppers are hoarding everything. Remember back when we had the you know, the sickness out there, and certain people had toilet paper already, didn't have to worry about getting toilet paper. I was one of those people. I didn't need no toilet paper. By the way, if you had some old rags around, that would be just as good as toilet paper, probably better. You have to store that. You know, you could wash a rag and wipe your butt with that, you know. So just get some old rags and tear them into little strips and sheets, you know, and keep that, you know. That's what they used in the old days. They didn't have toilet paper in the 1800s, did they? How they wiped their ass back then, you know. They didn't use leaves. They had a way to wipe their butt. I know I'm getting off a little off track here, but that's what the Prepper King does, you know. But I would say watch out for a cyber attack. I think already sleeper cells developing in our country to put harm to us, and somehow that's infiltrated within our country already. And if Iran was smart, why wouldn't they put operatives over here already? You already seen the one terrorist attack, the guy that had Allah on his shirt or something. You know, so, you know, they're still here. They're still out there. And nothing's happened yet. Maybe they don't have the capacity to do something. I'm praying that they don't, you know, but maybe they do. So if that's something to be aware of, that's something to put in the back of your head and make sure that, you know, don't be surprised if it does happen. Oh, and by the way, the tip I have today, thing that you really need in your preps that people really don't think about, is this. A stainless steel teapot. This can save you. Let me tell you something. Not just one, but two. Okay? Have two of them, good ones, that good capacity. One that holds a gallon. If you see them at the thrift store, pick one up. Because if you have to bathe yourself or something like that, you could take some colder water and add one pot of this to it, or two pots of that, and make yourself a cistern of a nice warm water to bathe in, or do a sponge bath in, or to cook tea or coffee, or just... In the old days, these were a mainstay in a household. In the 1800s and before that, even, you know, a good teapot was a mainstay in your household. And if you don't have one, you're going to be using a pot. You ever try to use pot and dump water with a pot? How it is? This is like, You know, very easy to use. It doesn't use as much energy because it's so tight, the lid's so tight that the water boils right away. So if you need to use it for bathing or washing dishes or all different sterilization, coffee or tea or soup or whatever, this is very mandatory that you have these in your preps. Thank you for joining me today. Be vigilant out there. I'm glad you joined me. Like and subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I'll see you on the next one. Prepper King out. See you on the next video.